How's everybody doing? We just did a podcast the other day under the city lights with Eddie Dynamite of the Europeans are really 4,000 years old. We broke down some stuff, a little bit of snippets of this kind of stuff that we were, I shouldn't call it stuff, program on this iPads that we can start getting closer to getting our brothers and sisters to study and, start showing themselves approved. When I was speaking on the video about 4,000 years that this European only been here, I just want to say that some of the things that I was saying about maybe 5% of some of the video that you guys will be watching, and I hope that you go and watch it. I got to give that brother credit, about the glacier, about the 1.5 million years it started to recede, 500,000 years, and all of this. If you go to the video, you'll hear it all. I'm not going to go over it all, but I wanted to give you guys a sneak preview on Agatha and Shambhala. Shambhala is like the capital of Agatha. I just kind of wanted to go over some of the stuff that we're going to be speaking on, which is starting on the wars that was in the heavens that the gods brought down to earth 500,000 years ago. Some of the stuff is kind of far-fetched, like 20 million years ago, 20 billion years ago. The planet Nibiru was coming through the atmosphere, had destroyed Marduk. And the Mardukians, they had over a billion different species on that particular planet that was in between Mars. But I think it was Jupiter. Like I said, I'm going to have to look at my notes to get that crystal clear. But let's be clear that y'all got to start studying. You got to start kind of keeping up and merging into what under the city lights with Eddie Dynamite and universal conscious awareness, what we're talking about and how we want to bring this into a bigger arena. The arena that we want to come into is breaking down the systematic program, the metrics, and the holographic system that you guys are in, that I'm in, that's everybody in. And we want to start getting that done by having people study from Eddie is putting them down at the bottom to let you guys know that this is what's going on. And this is what we want you guys to start doing before we go into another program. I want you to at least have some knowledge on Agatha, knowledge on Shambhala. We're going to go into the wars in heaven. This is spiritual. We're not speaking in religion. We ain't bringing God and the devil. And there's a God and Satan, because we're not a religious podcast. We're a spiritual podcast. So you can mix spirituality with religion. I heard one of the brothers speaking on Agatha at Shambhala, and he kept saying God is Satan, God is Satan, God is Satan. God not going to allow this. Satan is doing this. Satan worked for God, and we're not doing that. We're going to bring you what we call metaphysics, which is the spiritual science of the physical science that they're doing down here. You cannot mix spiritual metaphysics, or you cannot mix physical science with metaphysics because you're going to get lost. You can't mix religion with spirituality because you're going to get lost. And some of our brothers, and I ain't calling no names, and I mean, that's a thing because we're not here to interrupt no one else's podcasts. All we want to do is get our brothers and sisters on one page. That's with Under the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite and Universal Conscious Awareness. That's what we want to get our viewers started on. And in order to do that, we got to do them every 1 or 2 days. And then give you guys a week to go into some of the different books and some of the different videos, especially the ISIS papers of Francis Cresswell's, Chandler Williams, Dr. Dr. Henry. We want you to go into that and start listening to some of the information that these brothers and sisters have to offer. And then we can start, giving you guys, because if you give a baby meat, a chunk of steak, he's going to choke because it's on milk. And it's just like our people. I'm not saying that they're babies physically, but spiritually they are young. And we're going to speak on incarnation, reincarnation, and all of that on some of our podcasts. But we have to get you guys prepared and get you ready. Like this is just a sniff on what we're going to be talking about. Another City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. Of course, he has his agenda, and I do have mine. And I will be coming on separately with him. But I want to continue our merging together with Under the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite and Consciousness of Awareness, Universal Consciousness Awareness, so that we can get on one page and how we're going to bring y'all into our podcasts. And it's going to be times that I'm going to be separate from Eddie Dynamite, and it's going to be times when he's going to be separate from Universal Conscious Awareness. But the most important thing is to get you guys read up, studied up, and spirit up on what we're about to bring to you. So we're going to be on here on a continuous podcast. We're going to continue our podcast to get you guys moving. I hope that you guys like what we spoke on about the Europeans on the 4,000 years old. And some of the different types of issues that questions will be aroused and on. And I know that you have married couples that are with white people. We're not trying to down the Europeans by no means. What we want to do is tell the truth about the problem of the earth and what's going on in earth is how the Europeans, they might call themselves Jews, they might call themselves Americans, Russians, Germans, they might call themselves Englishmen, the British, they even call themselves Africans and Arabs. But what we want to do is get past that and show y'all that a European is a European. We're not going to get down on them because we got black people who are just worse than them or worse. But we're going to talk about like in the comic show. They might talk about a Hispanic. They might talk about white people. And then they talk about black people. But we want to do the same thing. These podcasts, but in a very intelligent way. And it's not being a joke. This is not comedy. So what we want to do is get our brothers and sisters on the level that, yes, we're talking about Europeans. And now some of the issues that we're going to be speaking on, and some of the issues that Black people have, and how they have adopted the European way of life, and how the Chinese, Japanese, everybody want to be in what we call America, the melting pot, and how the trickery of this melting pot go on, and why they're so against Black people from the rise, from the ignorant state and the illiterate state. When I was speaking to you guys about the caucus and other civilites with Eddie Dynamite and the either fly the caucus will lie, and how the old Wolf Alliance and all of that stuff. We're going to explain more about that. We're going to do some detailing on that. But you guys got to realize that in order for you to follow us, we don't want to lose you, but we have to deal with our people, our Black people. It's very important. It's like writing a book and excluding every other race. This is for Black people. We don't want to do that on this podcast. This is for people to learn, whether you're Hispanic, Black, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Asian. We don't care. But we want this to go international. We want this to go worldwide. Truth. Truth is what we're doing. Truth. Truth. And you have to understand that in order to get to it, you have to study the truth. How do we know how to study the truth? First of all, put religion to the side for a minute. Go to your spirit. Go to meditation. Listen to your ancestors. This is called epigenetics. In our DNA, we have everything I need through our meditation. Everything we need is through meditation. And we have to know that everything that's outside of us, that they're telling us, is already in us. That's one of the most important things that we have to learn is self-work. I like what Rod Hayes call it shadow work. Yeah, I like that brother, Rod Hayes. Yeah, I wish I could meet him personally. We're not going to get into the agreement of what he speak on with Black Magic 366. 36. Yeah, 6. That's what it's called. I like Little Richie. He's a young, sharp brother. Yeah, he's been listening about him as Dr. Deb Blair. And I think that we all kind of grew up in different sections of different type of brothers that was coming up in our own day and time. Like I'm Dr. Deb Blair, Bobby Hemmett, Chandler Williams, Francis Cress Wells. So I grew up in that period. Now, these brothers grew up in another period, but at the same time, the information is pertinent. And people want to nearly Fuller, who actually woke Francis Cress Welson's up, the ISIS paper. He woke her up. So it's a chain reaction, from Noble Ali, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, with the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Farrakhan, the Honorable Teresa Lumumba, the Honorable Sekou Toure. We got a lot of brothers that we owe honor to, or at least reverence to. And these brothers, Megan Evans, Martin Luther King, Malcolm, and we could also put the name the Honorable Malcolm X, the Honorable Martin Luther King, these were brothers that put their lives on the line, that we might have information about who we're dealing with, the systematic program that we're programmed on. And this is just a sneak review on what we're going to be talking about under City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. The subject is going to be Agartha and Shambhala. Remember, Shambhala is like the capital of Agartha. And we're going to be speaking on that. And then we're going to be speaking on the epigenetics. And then we're going to go back in and let you guys see the making of the story of Yakub Kerr, Jacob in the Bible. That's going to be, so we got to split that up in 3 or 4 parts, because you're talking about an hour and a half to really get into some deep subjects. And I hope you guys start studying and start looking at some of the different videos and just getting books. I'm kind of burnt out on reading. I ain't gonna lie, but I still read, but I'm burnt out, man. I've been doing this stuff for over a decade, man. Reading, I've got into 500-600 books, thousands of videos. Wallace D. Muhammad Farrakhan, because I was Muslim for about 25 years. I was a Christian, grew up in the church, and I agreed with what I heard. Now I'm here to disagree with what I heard, and that's okay, because we learn. It's just like you start in kindergarten, then you go to 5th grade, then you graduate out of the 8th grade, then you go into high school, high learning. Then after that, you go to college or university. Then you start going into the mind of the universal program, which is we call metaphysics. So I just kind of wanted to touch bases with y'all. I hope you guys are on point with us, and I would really love to start doing the panel. Eddie's going to set that up on the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. I call him Ed. He's going to set that up and start giving you guys some how to get with us. Start on Instagram, Facebook, and he's going to start putting at the bottom of our casts, how to start the panel and stuff like that. But, I'm not that computer savvy, but I'm not a computer illiterate, because I am a writer. I did 5 books. And we're going to actually get this going on the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. We'll be doing this separate podcasts and stuff like that, like I will be doing. But this is just something that I just want you guys to know that, with y'all start studying. Just study, man. Study, young lady. Study, young man. Brothers and sisters, gods and goddesses, kings and queens, got to study. Got to come back to our spirit of who we really are. And like I said, I'm not going to go into our lesson, but just a sneak preview of one of the episodes that we're going to be covering. And it's going to be quite a few of them. Reincarnation, a drone clone, epigenetics, and we're just going to take it from there and let it slide, because I'm tired of everything in so that you can understand it. Even if you're in the 3rd or 5th grade, listen, you understand, but start the study so that you can keep up with us. Peace out.